Gruesome Magazine.
Hello once again, I'm Doc Rotten, and this is Gruesome Magazine, where we review the very latest in streaming and video on-demand horror movies. Each week, my co-hosts, Jeff Mohr, Crystal Cleveland, Dave Dreher, and I will take a look at various spooky, scary, and gory genre offerings. Tonight, we are reviewing the UK Yuletide horror film called Host. Why do I do that to myself? I don't know, but hey, I made it through it. All right, let's introduce the crew before we get into things. Starting off with Jeff Mohr. Jeff, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
No, he's got something going on there.
I do that now, but I'm noticing I got a closet door open a crack down the hallway there.
No, stop. You're going to have everybody looking down your hall. All right. Also joining us tonight is Crystal Cleveland. She is the living dead girl. How you doing? You're so festive.
I'm like super festive. It's like 2 weeks until Christmas.
Yes.
So I'm not ready.
You gave Death a Santa hat. What is going on? I mean, you're wearing a Santa hat too, but behind you is foot, mouth.
It's my partner. See, my partner in Misniff.
Misniff.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa,
yeah, that's like mischief.
That's not where I wanted to go with that.
That's mischief. Mischief.
Yes. All right. Well, we are here to review a film called Hosts. And what we're going to do is we're going to give our first impressions, then we're going to talk about the film for a little bit, and then we're going to wrap things up with our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. Oh, boy. We can't all choose the same one. That happens 45 minutes. But what film are we talking about? We are talking about Hosts. This is available in select theaters and on demand. VOD is from director Adam Leader and Richard Oakes, written by the same pair. Cast includes Neal, Ward, Nadia, Lamin, and Frank Jakeman. The synopsis is: a family fall victim to a series of violent murders when they invite their neighbors over for Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
That's pretty straight up what it is.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more going on, I think. This is going to be an interesting discussion. So let's dive into it. Let's get our first thoughts. And you know what, Jeff? I think you, sir, should go first.
I probably need to be nice, but my reaction to this movie. Well, first off, this is Hosts STS, not Host ST.
Yes, not to be confused with the
singular,
the supernatural found footage film that we talked
Correct.
about earlier in the year.
Correct.
Also,
and so my response to this movie is no.
No.
I should have liked this a lot, and I hope this isn't being spoilery because it tells you this pretty quick. It's sort of like it can't decide whether it wants to be a home invasion film or an alien invasion film. It's trying to be both, but what I end up with is nothing anybody does makes any sense to me whatsoever. And it just irritated the hell out of me. And scenes drag on forever for no apparent reason that I can tell, or that I could tell. So it just was, I was irritated by it. I mean, there's sort of an explanation, a very loose explanation at the end, but you already figured that out, I think, pretty quickly.
I think that same loose explanation kind of came at the beginning, didn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It did.
Yeah.
All right.
And so, I guess what I'm saying is I was hoping for a little more that would explain all this stuff that made absolutely no sense. And by absolutely no sense, I don't mean that I didn't understand it, other than why did that person do that? Why did they stand there that long and not do anything? Why did, I just absolutely drove me nuts. It could have been 45 minutes, maybe.
Oh.
But I still didn't like the combination, the way it worked out, because there was no reason for it. What was the reason for it?
Yeah, don't know. But I will say, I will back you up. It was 45 minutes in until the horror kicks in. I mean, we get a little bit of a tease about 30 minutes in, but it's 45 minutes before we see.
Well, you mean before or after the Santa Claus is walking across the field with the shotgun? No, never mind.
What?
At the beginning, like one of the beginning scenes when he's walking up to the Santa Claus with the dad, but he's walking up to meet the dad.
Okay. I probably wasn't paying attention as much as that. I'm talking about the dinner thing, but let's keep things going.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, but
Yeah. All right, Crystal, I'll tell you, you're up next. What is your first impression of Hosts with an S at the end?
So I'm not nearly as critical of it as Jeff, but it's not an alien invasion. It's definitely demon infestation because they leave all these hints and clues to like religious stuff, which
Or is it
I like.
angel infested?
They're not angel. Well, demons are fallen angels. That's the same thing. Being possessed by a demon or being possessed by an angel are the same thing. It's just a matter of whether you have control over your faculties or not. Inviting this is my problem with it, and I could go into this whole theological thing, but you still have to invite them. That's my issue. Like, that's why you invite the Holy Spirit into you to like be your guide. But I mean, you kind of have to be a little. Anyway, doesn't matter. But I'm with Jeff on the character choices. Oh my gosh, some of it drove me insane. Like this, I'm not going to go into detail, but the sister and the brother in the attic with the shotgun.
What was that?
What? What are you talking about? Why do you? This is insane. This is insane. However, yeah, there's this big long part at the beginning of the movie to establish characters, and quite frankly, it was really unnecessary because it didn't make me care about them if that's what they were trying to do. However, I think the acting was good. I think that I kind of enjoyed it. But once things get going, nothing really mattered anymore. It was chaos, just chaos. And it wasn't controlled chaos. It just seemed like chaos, and it seemed confusing. And then there's the telling of a story, which obviously relates to. And then when the son, they have that photo or that painting of Abraham and Isaac. Did y'all even notice that? Yeah, and I was like, I was like, oh God, and they sat on that for so long, and I'm like, this is not the. It's, I don't know how they were trying to actually relate it because it is disjointed. I think they were trying to make it something more than what it was. But I did like some of the shots. I liked the gore. Because there's quite a bit of gore. Yeah, I did enjoy all the acting. I think everyone acted really well. But yes, the character choices were odd. Some of the story could have been tightened up, and it could have been expanded in other places. And the religious aspects could have been worked out had it been a little bit more thought out. I think that could have been worked in a little bit better. So I did find it enjoyable and entertaining, but I had some issues with it too. But I just kind of like went, okay. At the point where they were in the attic with the shotgun, I was like, oh, okay. I see. We just got to let it go. Yeah.
Yeah. This movie didn't win me over. I didn't particularly enjoy it. It I was teasing at the beginning of this in the pre-show that's the feel-good movie of the year. It is. It is. Oh, it is brutal.
Yeah, it's so funny. It was. Sorry, it's not funny.
No, but okay. So it didn't really win me over. I didn't really care for the characters. I didn't really feel that the antagonists were well realized enough to understand what was happening. I think that's kind of what maybe the two of you are talking about in different ways. It's just that something happens, they do something, and then sometimes they're together, sometimes they're apart. There's no rhyme or reason. I almost feel like, Crystal, like what you were talking about, I feel like a lot of the script is in the heads of the writers and not on the page or in the film. And I don't mean that in a mean way. It's just sometimes, when you're
doesn't translate.
When you're being creative, sometimes it doesn't always make it to the canvas. And so I feel like some things are there that just didn't make it to me. Right? I didn't get what was going on. And but it's at the same time it's very simple. I mean, and at its simple core, there's just not enough there to propel this film from beginning to end. At the same time, there is a lot to like about this. Like you said, the special effects, the gore, in one scene in particular is very effective. Um,
It's so messed up. I
there's
was like, oh, you're going to go there. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of blood and gore, it's really lit well. I was really noticing how well the cinematography was, especially when they're down the basement with the TVs and stuff, or in that one room, whatever it was. And I think it was in the basement, right? And in the attic even was lit very well. And there's some really cool shots of just
the triangle shot of her standing in the attic.
Yeah.
Oh, it was.
Yeah. I mean, even walking down the hallway, they made creepy and scary. And then there's this deer antlers at the end of the hall that I was just waiting for something kind of cool.
To get impaled.
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say maybe
Yes.
I watched a couple of the late 70s, 80s movies a little too much. Ever, what was it? Salem's Lot and was it Silent Night, Deadly Night? Both of them had the impales, right? Anyway, having said that,
Hannibal.
Hannibal did. It just didn't win me over.
Oh.
But I will agree with you, Crystal, that many of the actors are really good. There's one actor, the brother bothered me, and
I think it was the way his character was written, though.
Was
like
it?
At one second, he's like, "I'm never gonna forgive you. I hate you," and he's strong and powerful. And then he's like, "I'm a little baby and I'm running away."
Yeah,
it's like his character is going through some real emotional
highs and
ups
lows
downs.
there. Yeah, I think that's what it was, because I just didn't get him. The sister is pretty straightforward. The father baffled me, although I thought he did well, but there was just a lot of like,
What on earth?
I'm just not sure. I'm not sure people would react this way.
Yeah, I
know.
know.
There was a certain thing that happens that they're a little too calm. People would be.
That's exactly what Jeff was talking about.
They sit there and not move for a long time. When your first reaction would have been to bolt up and do
absolutely stop, and you would never just sit there. I don't care how much shock. There's no way that there were three of them, would just sit there.
Four. There was
and one of them. Well, no, the fourth one is getting got.
Well, no, there's the little boy. There's the brother.
The little boy, the sister, and the dad.
And the brother.
The stupid brother.
The stupid brother.
Who we see no character development whatsoever other than him incessantly teasing his sister to the point of like throwing food at her over the holiday dinner.
And they're grown adults.
Yes. So
a little resentment there.
Okay, so there's a lot thrown in. Let's be real. There's a lot thrown in here that doesn't need to be there, because it honestly doesn't make sense. Her relationship with the boyfriend, were they just trying to establish it as being something more than what it really was? Because that was unnecessary.
It was drawn out. That the whole scene.
And you don't call emergency help. You call your boyfriend, who you don't know if you want to commit to anyway. You're not really sure about. You feel smothered by, apparently. Her words, not mine. That's confusing. Why wouldn't anyone get out the dang windows? Because we know they. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. I mean.
So you're saying it was demons obviously makes more sense than aliens, because demons, I guess, would not make sense.
Yeah. That's why they're so evil.
I still don't get what. So this was like what's the Revelations thing then about it? What is is it like an army of dark angels are released? Because they're just getting to be more.
She talks about that story, and she talks about how the people are invited into the Father's house, and they sneak right in without his knowledge, right under his nose. And I think they're talking about God. They're sneaking in to God's house.
but
and like
still,
invading the people. And I think the reason why she killed the mother is because I think the mother was a little bit too pure.
but the demons are like
But
invading
I'm not sure.
everybody.
Yeah, for the most part. But why'd she kill? Oh,
I
I
don't
just
mean
talked about.
the people just in the movie. I
I
mean
spoiled it.
everybody
I'm sorry.
everywhere. Am I
Yeah.
Right, and there could have been a little bit more with that, a little less with the people next door, and more with the all the group outside because there's just a couple scenes, right? And then what? I don't know. This
I
movie,
kind of liked it the outside when
yeah,
she was facing off with that dude. That dude was really creepy.
with
He
the
was pretty.
ears and
Yeah, yeah. He was pretty. He looked scary. He looked like he was really
he
going to
did a
do
good
some.
job. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
like when he looked out the window, and
oh yeah.
so
And okay, so you saw it actually leave her too as she was
right,
being hung.
right.
So
a lot of
That happened.
spoilers here. Sorry, a lot of spoilers here.
oh yeah. Well, we don't know who that is. It could be anyone. Could be anyone. And that only happens. That literally has no basis on any of the story.
That
No,
happens twice.
Why? Yeah, and that's insane. That it doesn't
They don't do
affect
anything with
anything.
it. They don't do anything with it.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so
yeah, and I
why
think
would
that
you do
supports.
that?
I think that supports
just-
what I'm saying is that there's a reason for it. It just wasn't shared with us. If it's
Yeah.
there, it's
like,
buried
oh,
too deep,
okay.
right? I mean, okay. So
I'm clearly missing something
right,
too.
right.
I'm
And
missing it.
this is a challenge we always have as viewers because we don't want to be told everything, right? We don't want some people are like, well, come on, make up your mind. Do you want to be told everything or do you want to be told nothing? And it's not that. We want to be told the story. You want to tell enough to tell the story because we don't want somebody just dumping exposition on us all the time. And that kind of what happened at the beginning a little bit to trying to inform the characters was a little too heavy with the exposition. And then later on, there was nothing to support the actions. There was no
To
hint.
me, it almost the fact that they did that almost felt like someone wrote this to show off their acting abilities. Like they're like, okay, we're gonna do this, and I'm gonna be really cool. I don't know who wrote it. I don't know anything about this. I'm just throwing out a
The
thought.
directors wrote and directed this. So.
Okay, I just feel like that was all. There was a lot of that exposition, and then all of a sudden, I've got to be honest. I think the main dude was really good, and especially how you see him go from that to like being. I think he did a good job as the thing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I
And
think
the
it's
girlfriend
really
did too.
like up and yeah. Oh, she was fantastic. She was super scary. I think
Yeah.
I think the acting is really good here. I actually, I mean, I guess if I had to give a weaker point, it would be the brother as well.
Well, I would say
But-
like she has some of the best shots. Like when she's
And
walking.
then how she with her
Oh
saliva.
yeah. It looked a little worse than that, but yes.
It was so good. I was like, wait, like what did they put on her tongue? I want
I
some
don't
because it
know.
looks so gross. I was
Do
like,
it looks like do you spit or swallow? It just looked terrible to me.
I don't know.
Like
Weird,
oh.
wild, wacky stuff.
But it was like when she came out of the shadows, though, it looked great, and when she's walked down the hall, it looks great. When there's some composition. So I guess that's what I'm after. Is like the composition in this is really strong. Like in the attic, down the hallways. Yeah. I really some of it's kind of brutal, like with the boy in the room. It's just like I don't know if this is what I want to watch, right? But at the same time, when the hammer hits, it's. You're like,
of course I laughed, but that's because I knew it was coming, and it's a movie; it's not real. But I was like, I was thinking they might not do it. I was like, they're making it too obvious; they may not pay off.
They lead up to it for so long.
Yeah, I thought, and that's what's even better about it. How she's like telling this whole story. Who does?
Oh.
Also,
yes.
That bothers me.
Yes,
That bothers me.
Yes.
Okay, because there's no way. And let me tell you this: some MFer in my family has cancer, and we're thinking things are bad, and then they do that to me. You're gonna get beat. You're gonna get beat. You better tell me right away.
Yeah. Everybody's going to have a hammer at that table. Right?
I don't want to talk about what happened exactly, but I'm like, seriously? Who does that? Who?
How long can I draw this out to? Right?
Mm.
And then be like, they told me I only had 7 months. And basically, I'm going to be dead tomorrow.
What do you? Okay, so who's the audience for this? Who's going to enjoy this?
Oh, I think gore lovers will find this fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's, well, I mean, you have to get through some parts at the beginning, but none of it was boring. It just bothered me at points. I felt myself entertained. So that's the interesting part. I can rip this movie to shreds, but I enjoyed it. I kind of liked it. I had fun with it. I thought it had some cool points. I thought the acting was good. I like the music. I mean, I love the intro.
As well, yeah.
Yeah, I like the intro and the credits a lot. Yeah. I love the spin. Yeah, I don't know. There were some parts I liked. It just could have been.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of talent involved in this movie that are let down by the script. That's not.
I agree.
There. Or at least for us stateside, maybe.
Oh gosh! And when the movie first started, I was like, I don't understand them.
there was
I was like, what was he saying? Like their accents were, but
oh right. That took me a while.
But then it got like, then I was like, okay, I got it. But also when they transitioned,
they got to a point where they didn't talk very much, so you didn't have to.
But then when they did, this is what I'm saying. I think they did a really good job. It was so clear. Or maybe I just got used to it. I don't know. But toward that, I was like, I could understand everything. So I can't tell if it was like the way that they slowed their speech. I think they really did a lot in that transition, the characters. So I don't know if that was the director or the actors. Maybe the director was really good with that part of it and just,
Maybe it's editing.
I don't know.
I don't know. All right.
No, it was them. They're good.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up. So what we do now is we give our final thoughts, our score 1 to 5, and our favorite scene. But before we do, if you are watching and listening still, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell down below if you don't get notified, hit the like button. All that will help, and that's simple. All you have to do is hit a button, and it's simple, and it will have other people find us as well and help us grow. And we appreciate Grace very much. Also, leave some comments, especially if you know what we're missing. If you know what went over our heads here, let us know. I'm really interested in hearing that. Real quick before we do this, I also want to thank our patrons, especially at this time of year. Yes, it has been, of course, a long, hard, difficult year. 2020 has been the hammer on my head. And the only thing that's got me through it is, well, my friends, Jeff and Crystal and Dave, who's not here, and all our patrons. So thank you so much for helping keep Gruesome Magazine, Horror News Radio, Decades of Horror, Heroes and Droids, all that and more alive. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's do this. Let's do it. Dave. Hi, Dave. Dave's not here, man.
I know, right? Well, yeah.
Jeff, you're first. Final thoughts, score, favorite scene.
I never want to say that when Dave's around because I figure he's heard it a bajillion times.
Oh, I take to him a bajillion times.
So there are some. You guys are not wrong. I think the shot construction, the acting, all works really well, and there's some very disturbing scenes in this. But yet, I could find no logic to the actions that take place. I don't understand, and we can't get into detail about it or we'll be giving spoilers away. I understand some of the motivation for the quote-unquote demons, but I don't understand most of it. That's because the way they went about things, just, I don't know. I didn't get it. So I wasn't too thrilled with this, and I felt like a lot of these, we talked about a couple of long, drawn-out scenes that I'm not sure what they're there for. Some of the long scenes build tension, but some of the other ones I'm just sitting there going, come on. You're going to do it. It didn't build tension. It got past that point. Let's put it that way.
Mhm.
So I'm giving this a, oh boy, good stuff, bad. I'll go 2.5, and that's me
Oh,
being
yeah. Okay.
Are you
fairly
being
generous.
generous? Okay.
I am. And favorite scene, I'm not going to take the one you
What?
guys are thinking
Do
of.
it. That's cool.
No,
I
I'll
wasn't going to
let
pick
you
that
guys take
anyway.
it. I'm going to take the scene when they think the couple towards the beginning sees something going on outside. She says she sees a couple
Oh,
people
yeah.
with flashlights outside, and he goes out and looks. And when he comes back, his wife's upstairs, and he hears all those weird noises. And he goes up there, and then what he sees is like, that got me interested. That got me interested.
Right.
And what a
Because we were,
simple
yeah,
thing to do with just a,
yeah.
you know, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It was-
Yep.
mhm.
I like that. I like that. All right. Well, I think that's fair. Crystal, you're up next. Your final thoughts, your score, favorite scene.
So I agree completely that some of you are going to rip this apart, and you should, because there's a lot to rip apart. But if you can kind of look past that and just enjoy it for the entertainment value, I think you'll like it. I think you'll like some of the scenes. I think you'll like some of the gore, some of the blood, and I'm going to give it a 2.75. And I'm going to say my favorite scene, because it actually kind of scared me. It didn't scare me, but it surprised me,
Yeah.
is him under the bed.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, sneaky. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Okay, look, okay, I'm a kid. Stuff under my
Yeah.
bed still scares me. I don't like to put my hand over the bed because I think something's going to get it.
Really?
Whatever.
No foot hanging off the bed, huh?
Oof.
My wife used to tell me when I was traveling that she would like run and jump into bed,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
like
well,
leap, so
I
you wouldn't
get
get
it.
too close to them. Yeah.
Yep. Don't like that. Nope. Nothing under my bed.
Nothing on your bed. Okay, so I had a very similar reaction to this. There are things I like about it. The pacing is not one. The characters I had trouble with, but I did like the composition. I liked the music. I think everybody involved is very talented. I'm excited to see what the directors do, because there's some camera work in here that is really good, really strong. They use the Dutch angles. They have really nice lighting, cinematography, and they set everything up. But at the same time, the script just doesn't boil up and deliver what I'm looking for. So I feel it's either not on the page or got lost in translation. And unfortunately, that soured things for me enough for me to give it a 2.75 as well.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah.
Which I thought, Crystal, you were going to give it just a little higher. So I'm surprised.
Well, I mean, I still liked it.
Yep, you did.
That's like, yeah. I mean,
so I'm there. Okay, so obviously we all want to pick the dinner scene, but that's a little too.
yeah, it's too easy.
Too on the nose. I'm gonna go with when the when the girl, right, the possessed girl, is just simply walking down the hallway. So they have this really interesting, just simple hallway, but it's so narrow. It's basically one person go. It feels like only one person can ever walk down it, right? I'm sure two people could, but it feels like one on screen. And of course, they have their glowing eyes, and the way they just did that, she does it one time when she comes in the door, and then another time when she's dragging somebody, and it just looks so daggone creepy. And there's a number of times that they use that. Another time in the hallway, the brother who we complained about has a patch over his eyes, and that was really effective too.
Mm-hmm.
They stole my eyes. Yeah, so there's things to like. There's things to like, and I'll be interested to see what other people think. I don't know. I just don't know.
Maybe you'll tell
Okay.
us.
Maybe they
Yay.
will. Please do. All right. Well, that's our review of Host, plural. It is out on VOD now at all the things. I'll put some links in the show notes here for you. And not to be confused with Host, which is a found footage film that played earlier in the year and got a lot of press. So check this out if we won you over. Let us know what you think. All right, Crystal, Jeff, thank you so much for joining me. This is a great discussion, actually.
Yeah, this one was fun.
Thank
It was
you.
interesting. Something fresh.
Fresh.
This was worth watching. This was worth watching.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking forward to it, and I kept my interest, but it just didn't win us, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm going to shut up now. That's what Crystal's advice. Stop. Shut up. All right. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.